Hi, welcome to test corrections for your test number 2. Um, Kick back, relax, get comfortable. This is going to be so fun. I know you're excited. You should be excited because you get to improve your grade. Okay, so you should have a red pen. Notice I'm using red. Um, do it in red pen so that we can see where you made the corrections. Also, your teacher should have given you a chart, and I don't have a copy of that chart easily accessible, but a little chart paper where you write down the number and then explain with a very good explanation to get your points back what you did wrong. So in your interactive notebook for number 1, you should have had the steps for graphing an inequality. And step 1 said solve for y, which means get y by itself. So if we're going to get this y by itself, you should have shown me this on your test. Minus x. You can just write it even right over here, over the question mark, minus x. And then divide everything by 2. So then the y is by itself. We did not divide by a negative. Therefore, we did not have to flip the sign. So here's our new inequality. Y is less than or equal to negative 7 minus, I'm going to say 1/2 x. That's the same as negative x over 2. So you go to negative 7. Well, look, they all have negative 7. That doesn't do me any good. And probably you all noticed that. Less than or equal to, that means you shade underneath. Well, they all shaded underneath. That doesn't do me any good. So I see this little equal to sign, so I know it should be a solid or dotted line. And the equal to sign says it should be a solid line. So, well, this one's out. And this one's out. So it's got to be G or H. How can we tell? Well, let's go to negative 7. And we need to look at our slope. And it says we go down 1, run 2. Rise over run. Down 1 over 2. So down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Well, that doesn't work, so this one's out. It must be this one, but let's double check. So we start here. Down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2. Sure enough, it's H. So take a minute, pause the video, and write down on your sheet, your table, number. If you miss number 1, write number 1 and write what you did wrong. Okay, number 2 was not a highly missed problem. However, there were a few people that missed it. Which of the following relations is a function? So for it to be a function, the x cannot be repeated. So this, the x's are repeated. So it's not a function. This, oh, the x's aren't repeated, so this is a function. Here, x's aren't repeated, it's a function. And the last one, the x's are repeated, it's not a function. So the answer is 2 and 3. So x's don't repeat for a function. Okay, so again, go to your table, your paper for test corrections, and fill in number 2 if you missed it and what you did wrong. Number 3, which equation best represents the line on the graph? Well, there's several different ways to do this. Let's go ahead and find our y-intercept. It's negative 3. Let's go ahead and write an equation over here for this line. So y equals mx plus b. Our b is negative 3. And you can just write minus 3 if you want to. I'll write it both ways. Okay, our slope is 1, 2, 3, 3 over our run is 2 x minus 3, mx plus b. Or y equals 3/2 x plus negative 3. Either one of these are correct. Okay, so we got to figure out which one of these would be equivalent to that. Well, I see this 4. If I divide it by 2, that's probably not going to be it because of this 4. How about the 6, the 2, and the 3? Well, possibly. Let's look real quick. Minus 3x to both sides because we're trying to get the y by itself. And then divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2. Well, this is going to be a negative 3/2 x. So I'm going to cross that one out. Cross that one out. Okay, and this one minus 3x to minus 3x to get the y by itself. Divide by negative 2. Well, 6 divided by negative 2 is negative 3. And then negative 3 divided by negative 2 is positive, because this is a negative 2. This will be a positive 3/2. So sure enough, positive 3/2 x minus 3. It's going to be this one. And if you went ahead and went minus 2x divided by negative 3, you could see that this one would not work. We minus the 2x over here. Negative 6 divided by negative 3 is a positive 2. This is not going to work. So it's h right here. Okay, so see how much work that took me? A lot of you didn't hardly show any work, and I don't know if you just guessed or what you did, but make sure you show your work. And if you look at the instructions, I don't know if a lot of you didn't read your instructions, or I told my classes, I wrote it on the board, and it's on your test, so make sure you're paying attention if you didn't know you were supposed to show work. You always have to show work in math. It's always been like that. Okay, what are the coordinates of the x-intercept of the equation negative 3y equals 8 minus 2x? So we're looking for the x-intercept. If we're on a graph, x, y, x-intercept, let's say it's there. That coordinate would be like, let's say, 2, 0. Or if it's over here, let's say it might be negative 5, 0. Well, what do these two things have in common? Notice, for our x-intercept, our y is always 0. Easy. Just take out the y and put in 0. So negative 3 times 0 equals 8 minus 2x. And I'm going to erase this. If you want to see that again, just rewind it. I might as well erase that. Okay. So equals 8 minus 2x. So what is negative 3 times 0? Well, negative 3 times 0 is 0 equals 8 minus 2x. Now just solve for x. So minus 8 to both sides. Negative 8 equals negative 2x. Divide by negative 2. And negative 8 divided by negative 2 is positive 4. That's your x. And as I said, your y is 0. So 4, 0. Okay. And again, go over to your correction sheet and make sure you write what did you do wrong on this problem. And if you wrote I just guessed, then that's not a good explanation. You need to write the correct steps on how to do this. Like plug in 0 for y, solve for x, and the answer always has y as 0, and your answer is the x coordinate. Something like that. Write something good to get your points back. Number 5. What are the coordinates of the x-intercept of the function graph below? So what I saw several people do is they went 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is the work that they showed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got to go up 4 over 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your x-intercept at 3, 0. Okay, now that's not one of our choices. So 3, 0. So what did we do wrong? Let me see. What are the coordinates of the x-intercept of the function? Maybe I counted wrong. Maybe you're going, oh, I know what it is. You just counted wrong, lady. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me look down here. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3. Here we go. I should have went to this point, not this point. Because I know this is the point on the line. So up 3 over 5. So let me start from this point. So let me erase this. If you did that with me, I'm so sorry. Hopefully, maybe you said, hey, you did that wrong. Okay, and remember, failure can lead to success. So maybe you made the same mistake on the test, or maybe you didn't, but hopefully you can learn from my failures just as well as you learn from your own. There's 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's our y-intercept, but let's keep going. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's actually 4, 0, which is F. Phew, I couldn't figure out what I did wrong. Alright, 4, 0. So again, maybe you miscounted, like I miscounted the slope like I just did. So whatever you did wrong, make sure you write that on your sheet. Alright, number 6. So a function is described by the equation f of x equals x squared plus 5. So remember, this is just y equals x squared plus 5. The replacement set for the independent variable, x is the independent variable, is 1, 5, 7, 12. So you have 1 is x, 5 is x, 7 is x, 12 is x. Those are just some examples. Which of the following is contained in the corresponding set for the dependent variable, which is y? So what you need to do is you need to take 1, 5, 7, 12, plug it in for x, and you need to show it on your paper. A lot of you are in the habit of just doing it on your calculator and not showing me the work. Like, oh, I did it on my calculator. Okay, well then the calculator gets the points for this problem, so you need to write out exactly what you do on your calculator. So this would be 6, which is already there. We see that. This is going to be 25, 30. And I'm just being thorough about this. You were really done once you got right here. Sorry, my y's and my equal signs, things keep connecting. Y equals, last one is 12 squared plus 5 would be 144 plus 5 is 149. And again, you can just do that on your calculator, but you need to write what you do on your calculator. Okay, so write what you did wrong. And don't just say, I guessed, so that's wrong. You don't get credit for just saying, I guessed. Okay, number 7. If y is a function of x in the equation x squared minus 9, which statement is true? The independent variable x, this would say x, is equal to 9 less than the square of the dependent variable. So 9 less, so 9 less would be minusing 9 from the square of the dependent. Dependent is y. So it would look like this. So it's not that one. The independent variable y is equal to 9 less than the square of the dependent variable x. So the independent variable y. Well, first of all, the independent variable isn't y. That's not right. The dependent variable y, well, that's true, is equal to 9 less, so subtract 9, the square of the independent variable x. So the square of x. 9 less than the square of x. Oh, that's that one. And j got cut off. Maybe it's on the next page. Yeah, it's right up there. The dependent variable x. Well, x isn't the dependent variable. Okay, so again, write what you did wrong on number 7. It was h. Maybe you can say, I didn't know the independent variable was x. I didn't know the dependent variable was y. I had forgotten from when Mrs. Dole told me, or Mr. Yaman, or Miss Phipps. Or I forgot from Algebra 1 when my Algebra 1 teacher told me. And maybe I didn't study hard enough and I forgot. Alright. So write whatever you did wrong. It's for you to learn from your mistakes. Okay, number 8. A lot of people got this one right. They just didn't show work. So I really liked how some people showed work. They went like this. They said, okay, well this keeps going up by 1. And then they wrote over here, well, this keeps going down by 2. And so really you could do rise over run, which is y over x. The change in y, that means change, over the change in x is negative 2 over 1. That's my slope. My y-intercept is where x is 0. This is my y-intercept. My b is 0. So I have my slope. I have my y-intercept. I can write y equals mx. So negative 2 over 1 is negative 2. X plus 0, which is b. Now, a lot of you got that right, but you didn't show me any work whatsoever. You can say, I did it on the calculator. Well, again, your calculator gets the points for the work. What did your calculator do? I'm okay with you using your calculator, but you got to explain, somehow show me you understand the concept. If you're just using your calculator, you don't understand the concept, you're going to be in trouble when you go into a technical school or college next year, because you have to understand the concepts. Okay, which of the following graphs does not represent y as a function of x? So which one is not a function? We'll do the vertical line test. This can only cross once anywhere I go. This one can only cross once no matter where I go. This one can only cross once. And really, all of these, hopefully, you know now, these are all parent functions. Parent functions. But look at this one. If I draw a vertical line, it crosses it infinitely many times, and it can only cross once. And remember, my kids, I teach them, well, guess what? If you have a vertical line that's linear, what's its slope? Can you ski on that? No, you would die. And so this has no slope, which means it's a cliff. You die, it's actually not a function. So let's say, okay, because it crosses that line more than once. It touches it actually infinitely many times. Number 10. Okay, in the equation, 6.5x plus 1.4y equals 59. What is the value of x when y equals 5? So y equals 5, take out y, put in 5. So you have 6.5x plus 1.4 times 5, take out y, put in 5, equals 59. And of course, I don't have a calculator right here, and I don't have my key right here. So I'm going to have to figure out what 1.4 times 5 is. So I'm going to go over here. Do it the old-fashioned way. So 0, 20, carry the 2, 7.0. So 7 equals 59. So then minus 7 to both sides, minus 7 to both sides, 6.5x equals 52. And then divide by 6.5, and your answer is 8. So then you go to your little Scantron thing and put an 8 there. Alright, I'm going to stop. This is just part 1 of test corrections. I'm going to make 2 videos so it's not so long and not so long to download. Okay, this concludes part 1 of test corrections.